What's up, everybody? Brett here, and I'm back today, happily playing some more Battle Brothers on our Warriors of the North DLC Let's Play. Alright guys, it's day 435, it's dawn, and I've done a lot of grinding off camera. We've had a few cool events I wish I could have brought you guys in on. I want to talk about them first, and then I'm going to talk about what I think we're going to try and do in today's episode. So first things first, I killed an Orc champion. It was pretty cool. He was a warrior, not an Orc Warlord champion, although we have slain those. And he dropped the Fury, a heavy piece of metal with a sharp head, not made for human hands. It's strong, but when you compare it to something like Mudun's axe, it's like not even a contest. And of course, it doesn't have the drawback of weapon skills build up 5 more fatigue. That's just crazy. So it's cool to have, but not particularly useful. We also got an event that was kind of cool. Something that I hadn't seen before, and I really wish I had been recording for it. But you can't really control the events, of course. And we picked up a unique dog named Swimmer. A strong and loyal dog bred for war. So he doesn't, of course, have a unique backstory or anything. But the event that happened was that we came across a dog sinking in a swamp. And we ran in and saved him. And his human, who had, was kind of just standing off to the side watching him drown, we kind of just took his dog from him because he was trying to use the dog to get to treasures in the swamp. And he was willing to risk his dog's life to get a golden goblet. And we ended up getting the goblet, and we got Swimmer. And I put some armor on him. Unfortunately, we don't have any unhold armor to give him, but I thought that was a pretty cool story and something that I hadn't experienced yet. We also had another great story where John taught Sir Lancel some fighting techniques. As a sword master, that happens pretty often. Sword masters, hedge knights, those types of guys. I think sellswords and raiders, I think they all kind of do that. They can teach, other brothers of different backgrounds. And Sir Lancel is he's actually a noble. So that's kind of weird that they would teach him. I guess they teach anyone. But he ended up picking up 2 more melee defense. Or 2 or 3 more. Which was just a nice added bonus, and it was kind of a cool little event. But yeah, I think that's about it. So I want to today, let's actually switch this up quite a bit. We're going to want him in as well. So we're going to the Black Monolith, guys. That's the long and short of it. We're going to go there, and we're going to try and take them on where they live. And we're going to, do what we got to do. Just kind of in my brain thinking about some things. So I want to go wide in terms of our front line whenever we get there, but we do have some really good backliners. I mean, Folkier and Raynor. The only negatives with them is that they're only level 13. I like the ability to throw, flasks of blessed water, and they're never going to be bad. I mean, these guys have unique pole arms or pole hammers that are going to be great, but we don't need to do that right now, right this second. What we can do right now is walk our butts over to the Black Monolith, which is on the other side of the world. We've got great provisions, up to 12 days worth. We're pretty good on repairs. We don't actually need to repair anything right now, so that's all just tools in the bank. And we're solid on ammunition and medical supplies. So we're just going to head straight over there. If we see any small fights along the way, we have a few brothers who are very close to leveling. This does not count as a small fight. It's in fact a huge fight in the woods, and yeah, I would love to take that fight. That's just not what's on the agenda today. 9 unhold will also, we could kill these guys super easy, but they'd probably wreck our armor. Man, I hate passing champions, but all these goblin champions ever give us is the same junk. The sword, actually junk is a strong word. The swords are great. The spears and the bows are just, once you get past the mid-game, they're just not as viable. But we're going on a great journey. Abandoned walls. I want to take at least one fight, because I think, like I said, we have 2 or 3 brothers who will level if we fight them. Get a few kills with them. The unhold, honestly, might have been a good choice, just because we know we can corral them so easily. Another big goblin area. It's probably too much to ask for that we find a small group of anything this far away. But normally there are like goblin wolf riders and stuff. You can just smash them quickly. Well, nothing yet. It's about to be nighttime. See what's in here, if we can. Well, a plethora of ancient legionnaires. That's something we can beat pretty easily, I would think. So let's widen our front line. Oh, here's one more thing. Okay, so something I forgot. I went ahead and I spent about 9k on this weapon. August the Gravedigger's Blind Justice. A separate striking head attached to a handle by a chain. A rather unpredictable weapon, but useful to strike over and around shield cover. This particular flail seems even more terrifying due to its unique characteristics. So it doesn't have the biggest damage, but it does have the chance to hit head plus 10%, which is great on Sir Quickhans because he also has Headhunter. So the idea is that we just keep bashing people in the head over and over again. It's a pretty low fatigue weapon, and weapon skills build up 3 less fatigue. So I just thought it was a cool, unique weapon for him if you want to take a look at the model. There you go. And should we fight these guys at night? I prefer not to waste time. Let's just get in there. We're not using our archers anyway. Nice wide front line. We're going to make several equipment adjustments before we get into the Black Monolith. Of course, guys, I'm going to read everything for you so you don't have to do that. Let's just end the round. They're going to come to us. They have no range. And I gotta say, in every single fight that I've been in, where the enemies have had the opportunity to try and break this shield, they have taken it. It's ridiculous how much a low durability shield aggravates the AI into like trying to destroy it. It's actually crazy. Like without fail, they will go for it. Look how wide this front line is. This is a deceptively, incredibly dangerous group here. I'm going to go for this bashing tool. Throwing axes, not that bad versus these guys as long as they don't have their shields up. So what we're doing right now, if you're wondering, we're letting them jump in. And we're going to try and pick them off if we can. But it looks like the spacing was just right for them to jump in and use the shield wall. So this is actually kind of bad. We should have jumped in on them. Yeah, they're just jumping in and shield walling. But what we want is for them to do like this one did. Jump in, can't do anything. And that's going to allow us to poke holes in the shield wall, which will eventually allow us to cut through to the backline legionnaires, who are the real danger. These guys won't do anything. We could probably kill these legionnaires all day long, but the armor piercing on these is pretty terrifying. And they have a lot of them. So we're going to really need to start doing some work here. Man, that lightning just isn't what it used to be. Let's get out our more blunt instruments. Billhook should work wonders. I actually don't remember if there's a guy in there. So let's just do a round swing. And we miss. Okay. This is why these dudes are so dangerous if you let them set up. And that was totally on me for letting them set up. So this is going to become a slog. It'll get much easier once we start getting around. Alright, that's what we needed. Poking a few holes. Very good. So Gimli doing what Gimli does. And crushing them. Very good. We just got to get rolling. And this fight's kind of a nice warm-up, to be honest. for what we're about to go into. So he doesn't have his shield wall up yet, so we'll attack him. But let's expect our armor to get damaged in this fight. That's okay. We're good on supplies. We'll just sit, relax, get ourselves up to 100%, swap armor around as needed. Make sure we have all of our best stuff. And I don't want to get too fancy with our tactics and strategy for the Black Monolith fight. Just like in the Ratchet Guys fight, I want to start by seeing what, our kind of a baseline strategy can do. I want to see how close we are in our normal, formations to being able to accomplish what we want to do. And if we do it on the first shot, that's cool. Just like the Ratchet Guys fight, I was pleasantly surprised, but I think that was definitely the exception, not the rule. So we'll see. I honestly don't expect to beat the Black Monolith on my first try. We have some very powerful brothers. We have very powerful armor. I'm not so much skeptical that we'll beat it on our first try. I'm more skeptical that we'll beat it with acceptable losses. Which for me, if you've been watching me long enough, it's kind of a big deal. Like, I'm not trying to lose, 9 brothers in this fight. Even though, to be fair, this is really the last boss battle in the game. Losing a brother here is kind of the point, But even still, I would not see my battle brothers fall if they do not have to. And yeah, once we made it past that initial shield wall, we just started tearing them up. It's just, in the upcoming fight, we're not going to be able to flank. We're not going to be able to do a lot of the things that we were able to do this battle. There's going to be so many of them that we will be surrounded. Necro Savants are going to be a huge issue. So Flail goes... Wait, is it Lash? Has a 100% chance to hit the head. See, this is able to strike over or around shield cover. Yeah, they both are. So that's going to be good versus them. I like that. That hurt. That hurt too. We got a lot to deal with in this upcoming battle, but we took these guys out with barely a scratch. A little bit of damage here right at the end on Svarog, but like, what can you do? They managed to land some attacks. Okay, let's just pass. Having the extra like series of turns just to, make sure that we're able to use our adrenaline is, I mean, it's a nice quality of life feature, but it's kind of annoying that I basically have to click twice as much to go through the turns. I feel like I'm getting carpal tunnel. Went for this guy because this one's fully surrounded. And if we land that, perfect. Alright, and Ragnar levels and Sir Modun levels. So that's 2. I think that might have been just about all. It was either 2 or 3. Happy to get those levels, though. Man, look at this terrain. So I think the terrain for the Black Monolith is kind of locked. I don't know if it matters much whether or not it's in... Ooh, what's this beast? Just so I know. Curious if we could quickly catch up to it. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to chase it across the map. But we do still need things. We need to kill Scrat, mostly. Okay, let's pause here. But what I was trying to finish my thought was that I think the Black Monolith terrain for the battle itself is like a specialized. I would be surprised if we fight them on like the mountains or in the forest or something like that. I don't think that's even possible. So let's go ahead and level. Every little bit counts. Fatigue. Melee defense, probably the biggest things here. And then Ragnar. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, because I just think the melee skills is going to be the most important thing here. Alright, we've got Holy Waters or Blessed Waters that we need to put in the front line if we can. Definitely over this. I don't know how much heavy axe throwing we're going to be doing, but we have a few if we want. Oh man. What else can we do? Looking at armors right now. See if there's any kind of improvements that we can make. Because we have some heavy stuff that we could share. That is our best bow. Let's give that to Zach. And hope it serves him well. Also, Wonton, sadly, spears are not the best in these engagements. Zach's going to get the Sergeant Sash for this one. And another Blessed Water. It's actually been Wonton who's been making most of these for us. Worth noting. He's the hero we need. Okay, let's do this. 338, it's going to give him more armor and a lot better fatigue. This shield has got to be better than 21 to 25. I mean, that is better, but who could use it more, maybe? Mudun's the one who needs the fatigue, but they're kind of the same. Let's give that there. Anything else? His armor. Okay, yeah, we're going to want to put this on someone else. It's 34 versus 42. Yeah, that's super helpful. And this is an interesting choice here because we have Duelist. The idea is whether or not we use a shield. Let's take off the net. I don't think we're going to use that. Could use the poison. We're going to be surrounded. Nets just aren't going to do anything. Dogs are helpful. Anyone who's going to be out on the flanks is going to want to have really high. Let's do this maybe. Something like this. Anyone out on the flanks is going to need to have really high resolve. They will have priests. They will be trying to like horrify bomb us. We're probably not going to be eating mushrooms in this battle. Just trying to trim a little bit off. Do we have any more necklaces? Fear and mind control abilities. That might be important to put on John. I think that'll protect him from the priest's Horrify. If that's the name of it. I could be misremembering, but I think that's what it is. Okay. This may have to be good enough. Do we have a better helmet for him? Probably not. I mean, this only weighs 4. But it's a lot less durable. We're going to really need John to pull his weight in this. The sword specifically. And the reason we're doing our formation this way is to protect our backline from Necrosavants, who will close the gap with us as soon as the front lines do engage. Reorganize a bit there. And alright guys, let us save the game. Hold on to your butts. And we're going in. Wish me luck. I'm going to read all the info that we need, the story bits. From a distance, the black monolith looked like a black tower tilting from the earth. The sky above was without blemish, as though the clouds and the birds were circumventing some unseen mountain. A numbness settled its hinterland, terror neither dying nor growing, and a cruel silence left the listless life worse than no life at all. Adventurers went to it and did not return. Stories of their demise stacked high until their absence shielded the monolith whole, clothing it in such fear and menace no one dared go near. But now, the Jarls of Jorvik stand before the obelisk like ants at the steel of a staked sword. Here you see that the structure was not built upon the earth at all. The obelisk rests in the pit of an abandoned quarry. Roads and paths sidewinder into the depths like some great and hollow terrace socket. Ropes carrying buckets hang across every gap. Innumerable pails of dirt left listing like fireless lanterns on a festive night. More bindings hold the frames of bridges, the walkway planks long since fallen, and more yet wrap about the monolith as though a great bevy of men had attempted to pull it down, or perhaps even correct its tilt. At the bottom of this abandoned pit is the base of the monolith, but to you this is only a guess. It has every appearance of never stopping its descent into the very earth, and whatever is below, shovels and pickaxes litter about its obsidian walls with soil still clumped on their metals. Zach Longshates nods at the scene. Looks like whoever was digging there got interrupted. The man's words carry far into the quarry, and there become so presently shaped an echo that you just about watch them go. Looking back, you see that the silence itself has followed you in, but even here, at the edge of the pit, it is pensive and cut with ease. The decision to enter the quarry rests heavy on your shoulders. Go in. Halfway into the quarry and rounding a long bend, you notice a series of hallways cut into the lower wall. You cast up a fist. The company seizes, bumbling into one another as the formation comes to a stop. Svarog Urdnot, Lord of War, asks what's wrong. You put a finger to your lips. With the lightest of steps, you approach one of the ropes strung between this level and the very bottom of the pit. A pail filled with soil totters the tethers as though jittered by your appearance. The pulley used to draw it up and down has long since rusted over. You draw your sword and cut the rope. The binding shoots back like a whip and the bucket plummets. It clatters side to side off the rocks, until striking the ground with a metal pang and a cloud of dust. And just like that, the silence is gone. Pale men flood out of the hallways below, a stream of malignant miners and ditch diggers, and haggard drawers in boots and capes of shredded shirts, shambling back out as though returning to some long-gone work left incomplete. You try and count their numbers, but are mightily distracted when a throng of armored soldiers march out behind the mob. This outfit carrying polearms, shields, spears, and most dangerously of all, a sense of cohesion. No point in running out of the quarry, nothing in the land to run to. When you look back at the men, they're already drawing out their weapons. Svarog Urdnot nods. With you to the end, Captain. To the end. Alright, guys. We can't make out who we're facing, but we already know. Or I already know. For those of you who've never done this fight before, this is a kind of a quest battle that ties into some of the events that we've been experiencing for really the entire game. The ancient dead calling us the false king, the visions and dreams, the time we touched the statue and had that kind of crazy vision. All that stuff is playing into this now. And we're going to face an enemy here that is quite powerful. And we're just going to try and be ready. So, right off the bat, I think one thing I would change is I would put John here. And that's because you'll notice we're fighting 47 enemies, most of which are legionnaires. Several honor guard. I mean, there's going to be a lot of them. Tons of necrosavants, several priests, and then one very scary boss man. But the thing is, there's 47 of them. So while there are a large number of them directly in front of us, there's also a large number of them at the top. And if, if currently it's, Svarog is the man right here. He is the one that's the linchpin. They're going to break around him. And I like that because he has, the ability to hit multiple targets at once. So we want him in that linchpin position, but we need to make sure he doesn't break. And supporting him with a character like John is great because he's going to have the DPS needed to constantly help him clear. The sword is really clutch for us. And here the game is also giving us that decision again. Do we go in now and try and hit them before they get a chance to raise their shields? Or do we just hold fast and let them come in next turn? Now, Ancient Dead don't get tired. That is something worth remembering. We'll go that way and here. I think Gimli's going to be an absolute destroyer of worlds for this battle. We'll take a few pot shots. I won't do anything. Let's go ahead and get our banner out. We can throw a few of these. Once again, probably won't do much. May honestly be better just to wait. Hold on to the ammo until next turn. And let's try and ball up. So, what balling up does that's good is it gives us very few weak spots. Brothers can support each other. But what it's bad is, well, where it's bad is that the priest can cast their miasmic clouds on top of us. And it'll have a better spread of hitting more brothers. So, things to be aware of. While this is probably a more powerful defensive position for us, letting our corners be the brothers that can probably one-shot most of these. It leaves us vulnerable too to the magical elements. Got no problem using our crossbows here. If they're going to engage on us this turn, then we need to expect the Necrosavants to be in our back line this turn as well. So I guess we'll hold Leisure Side's next shot. Yep, we'll hold it. We can knock him backwards. There's some value to that. But let's just try and kill him. The shield wall is what's really annoying. It could end up taking many turns longer than we would want to unseat these guys and then to get into the back line. But the surrounding begins. And that's another thing about this battle that's really tiring. It takes a long time. So here comes our first interactions with the priests. The first poison clouds have been cast. Hans is horrified. And there are so many more enemies coming. Alright, and here comes the Necrosavants. It looks like 6 of them. Or 7. Some of them are already a little bit hurt. But not all of them. But yeah, so just to go back to the time commitment thing on this. Man, none of them wanted to go near us. With John, that is. This battle takes forever. If I fail, I have to start over from scratch. And you don't really know how a battle's going to go until you're deep into it, right? So, understand that for me, this is just a huge time sink that I don't know at the beginning, at the outset, whether or not we're going to make it. And I always do my best, but let's go for the 95%. Happy to get that kill there. And he's horrified, so he skipped his turn. Good job killing that ancient honor guard, though. Take the 77 over the 72. And now it's time for billhooks. Our brothers have really high HP, but even still, the the clouds are going to definitely hurt us. Yeah, and Zach already looks like he's in trouble. This is going to be a long battle if Zach goes down first. Because this is our first attempt, I'm going to fight it to the end. Getting a couple unfortunate misses as well. And yeah, just like that. That was pretty bad. And here we go, guys. The man himself, the Conqueror. The last emperor of a fallen empire. So what we can do is just destroy their shields. If we need to. We can break holes in their formation that weakens their shield wall. Mostly I don't like doing that because I feel like it's easier just to try and get lucky and kill them because they're so squishy. That push there kind of sucked. We're still in the miasma. Alright, the armor's gone on him. 79 versus 59. And these types of battles too, we got to try and get greedy. Alright, one less of those. We've only killed 5 so far. I'm pretty worried about Zach. Dogs, as always, are kind of your friend in these scenarios. Necrosavants really hate dogs. They go for them as easy targets. Alright, no Horrifies landed this time. But also the problem is that they kind of count as brothers being killed. Now, morale is not a thing for these guys, so you're not going to, like, really boost their morale by letting them kill your dogs. But you might mess up your own morale. So our brothers are all very confident right now, except for the ones up here because they're taking a ton of damage. Yeah, we're not able to meat grind these guys fast enough. Looking at all of our brothers' different situations. Sadly, we're kind of trapped here. We can't get out of the clouds. And the Conqueror is a very powerful fighter. In the past, what I've been able to do is you can kind of save him for last. Then you basically bring out someone like John. Really good defensive stats. And you duel him. And he's much easier to beat in a duel. Yeah, Zach is just... He hasn't landed anything this entire battle. And the Necrosavants are just sitting on top of him. They're going to get him. His Nimble will protect him, but from Kopesh's, with no helmet, seems unlikely. Yeah, those weapons are especially dirty, though. Is it Romphia? I think is what they're called. But they can strike 3 targets in front of them. Alright, let's go for a line shot down here. We're not going to go for the guy who's shield walled. So you can already see why I wanted my strongest brothers up top. This wraparound is what's really brutal. This entire back line of polearms, I mean, you can see it. It's like, it's super dangerous. It's like wherever you are, look how many guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people can hit Gimli. 11. And that's not even to mention the priests. So, you know, add 3 to that. They can, you know, drop negative effects on him. So the odds of him coming out of this completely unscathed are super low. Yeah, it looks like Gimli's having a bad day. So something that I'm thinking about right now as I kind of pull strategies through my brain, I think we should start the battle by moving south and engaging. So think of this like where my my cursor is here. Think of this as kind of like the formation, right? It's in something like an L. Okay? So if we hit them on this flank right at the beginning, let's say we even move forward to face them here, then we're making these guys take an extra turn or 2 to get to us. And then by the time they get to us, maybe we could have crumpled one particular flank already. And that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now, whether or not that strategy has any merit. And I think it does. Terrain does play a small factor. Like I said, this is barren terrain, but there are boulders. And I have done this, you know, battle enough times to have seen many variants of this terrain. And I know that there's variants you can get sometimes where you can actually get like a little circle of boulders and hold up inside of it and really prevent yourself from being surrounded. It has a lot of great defensive qualities, but, you know, miasmas. So they're basically designed to prevent you from turtling. But there's one thing I'm not going to do. I'm not going to get salty about losing a fight like this, because it's designed for you to lose. Like, if this was an easy fight, yeah, and Zach's just going to die. If it was easy, it would just be disappointing. And that's a ton of damage from John. But sadly, we could not shut down the Necrosavants fast enough. Ooh, and now Big Papa's in here. Gimli took a hard hit, and Svarog wants to run. And of course, our only source of rally was Zach. We could have made a complete diamond formation and kept them from even being able to hit Zach. But I just felt like Zach was strong enough to take it, but we missed a lot of our bill hook shots. And, you know, the Necrosavants were just able to kind of capitalize. We got them down to 33. That's going to be my big kind of litmus test for this battle, is how low can we get this number? That's awful. We need our brothers to stand and fight. Them running, I mean, these two are as good as dead now. We have no way whatsoever of bringing them back to this fight. That was pretty awful. We could use Adrenaline here to try and get rid of him before he gets a chance to attack again. So yeah, Gimli and Svarog are now dead. Take the 58. Yep, down they go. It's honestly better, if they gotta die, it's better that they die through the attacks than that they die running away, because that basically gives the enemy free damage on top of you, which is of course bad. Man, if we could have killed him, that would have been great. 2-man shield wall is significantly weaker than a 3-man. Alright, and this is a weapon that was designed to go around shields. We do hit. Okay, let's do that. War Dog, let's go. That's Snarbler or Snarler. That makes more sense. Makes way more sense than what I said. So 32 is the current count. I would hope that we could get them in the low 20s. Alright, and this was why we used Adrenaline. Let's make sure that he doesn't teleport somewhere else, get a hit, heal himself, you know, that whole thing. We don't need him doing that. Also, it's important to remember that we have lone wolf brothers on our squad. we might want to make use of them for this battle. We haven't used Lone Wolf as a strategy very often. Damn, he didn't let us go. Probably should have just passed our turn and expected them to come in. I got greedy. If we could have got onto these Ancient Honor Guards here, the lightning jumps might have killed them. That was an amazing hit, but we did not disable his 9 lives. So the Conqueror is wearing the armor that's the same as Jotnar's helmet. It reflects damage back at us. Needless to say, that's pretty bad. So whenever we hit him, we have to be aware of the fact that we're going to be receiving damage ourselves. And he is pretty damn strong. That armor is, you know, the best armor in the game as far as I remember. This was kind of our last bastion. And now with Mudun deciding to run, we're in bad shape. Snarbler took 1 hit for us. That's something, I guess. Sometimes the dogs, you know, they can take 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. It's not really about the damage they do. They're almost like a taunting mechanism. Thankfully, we finally managed to get rid of that guy, so we can get into these Legionnaires. And once you're able to get into the Legionnaires, I mean, it's kind of smooth sailing as far as whittling the numbers down. Guys like Gimli, Svarog, you know, Isaac, they can kill these things all day long. Like one-shot them, basically. Okay, we're going to get out of the miasma. Wish me luck, guys. I think this is the only attempt we're going to do for today. Just for time constraint purposes or reasons. So we didn't actually seem to take any damage there. Huh. Okay, and a hit there is great. If Leisure Side can land the shot on the Necrosavant, that'll be the last one on the battlefield, so no more teleporting nonsense. But I think the writing's on the wall, guys. Brothers is just going to start breaking. Yeah, and that was an awful miss. And without rally, we can't come back. Jeez, and they just cover the battlefield in that garbage. Romfia hitting multiple targets. Yeah, now John wants to run. Yeah. Okay. So that's 3 of our remaining 9 that want to go home. Isaac's armor is beautiful in this scenario, but he doesn't have any actual armor left. Okay, Mudun made it out at least. The music is so sad and slow. It's like you're failing. You're not gonna win. You're right. But we'll get it, guys. Gotta love that weapon. Does so much damage. It's basically just a big greatsword. Ah. Okay, down goes Hans. A true hero of his people. We'll pass there. That was a lucky hit too. I feel like if we really wanted to cheese this, we could do something dirty with Isaac's armor, plus the sword, Reproach of the Old Gods, and just have like a nearly immortal brother with Nimble. high HP. Man, Cleaver's just not the best. They have no blood to spill. And they're still coming down. There's still more of them. And there goes John. He dies to the miasma. It'd be cool if we could consolidate and maybe get something going down here. Right now it's just a numbers thing. I want to see how close can we get. And this Necrosavant is just laughing at me. We've had him near death for a while now. Alright, down he goes. We've got these two Honor Guard pretty close to done. And now the Thane, he's coming to get his helmet back. Oh no. Thane Jotnar is going to try and hold these bastards at bay. We could potentially clean up this whole bottom row. Alright, those misses were rough because that would have been a dead Honor Guard. And then we could have moved in for a better surround here. Oh no. That was some huge piercing damage there. We went for the kill and we didn't get it. And now Lancel wants to run. Behemoth knocking down 2 more for us just to pad the numbers a little bit. No way we kill the Conqueror. He's just too big. Alright, Lancel routes before actually getting a chance to do anything. Yeah, like I said, my goal was kind of like low 20s. This is just another one of those snowball fights. You gotta have things go right for you in the very first few turns. You know, us getting 5 kills on the first turn of engagement wasn't the worst, but we should be getting about 6 or 7, to my estimation. And then from there, kind of keeping that momentum. Like, brothers need to just get kills. Whenever I swing, I should be getting a kill on certain brothers in certain positions. So someone like Gimli, you know, I really need to rely on him to go boom, boom, kill. You know, then it's Svarog's turn. Svarog gets a kill. You know, then it's Behemoth's turn. Behemoth gets a boom, boom, another 2 kills. So that's kind of what we need to have happen. We need that kind of positive sequence of events early on. And we need to punch holes, as many holes as we can. That way we can get into the backfield and limit their ability to have all this range DPS. Because if you can crumple a flank, you can just go right down that flank and start taking people out. Here comes Warrior. So the Thane has fallen. Warrior comes to avenge him. What can we do? Damn, the Conqueror takes his armor. And then the Legionary kills him. It's like I know we're dead, but it's still very tense for me. I still want to try and get as good of a showing as I can. So yeah, right now my biggest ideas are to make better use of our Lone Wolf brothers, even if it just means sacrificing them in a way. Holding up that top line of enemies so that we can deal with the army that's in front of us. 17% chance, it's so bad. Well, Ragnar got us 2 more. That should be another one. And Behemoth is just too tired. He's like, I'm doing all the work, guys. And then down goes Behemoth to the Conqueror's Blade. Like I said, if we can get John in front of the Conqueror and just spam out that lightning on him, he's really not that hard to take down. Oh, and that's going to be it. They're horrified. They're going to pass their turns. And good attempt. Would have liked to break the teens. That would have been a cool milestone for our first showing here. But also, guys, like I said, time constraint wise, like this is one of the most time intensive fights. I would put this, you know, if the Kraken fight is like a 9.5, this is a 10 in terms of, you know, how much time you have to dedicate to doing it if you're not able to do it on your first couple tries. Like, I essentially need to get to turn 6 or so every single time I try. Off camera, on camera, doesn't matter. So, like, in my free time, I'm going to be sitting here with my TV on, trying not to be, like, super stressed out about failing. And just go for it. I'm going to have to go for it multiple times. I'll probably, the next episode you watch, it'll be me doing this again. We'll probably get, if we don't win, we're going to get probably 2 attempts off at least. Because that's just how time consuming it is. But if we don't do it on our second and third attempt, then I am going to start doing it on my own. So you guys don't have to watch me fail repeatedly. But part of the magic of these battles is that we grow together and we learn the strategies together. And, you know, I'm not a one-man repository of genius and infinite knowledge on Battle Brothers. So if you guys have any tips or tricks or strategies that you want to give to me, if you're, you know, you consider yourself to be an expert player, then by all means, I can take constructive criticism where needed. But I think I pretty much know what we need to do. Like I said, I've done this battle. We just have to make some tweaks, and then you got to get lucky. So, I mean, the best laid plans are of mice and men and all that, but you still need the luck factor. Skill, I don't think, is enough. Other options are, you know, only to go into the Black Monolith when you got, like, maxed out level brothers. You know, better gear, just fully maxed out, best items in slot type of stuff. But I think one of the biggest downfalls of this particular run was that they were able to kill Zack so early. Like, that just shouldn't have happened. His death was the beginning of the negative snowball. Man, look how tanky Lancel is. He's got melee defense in the 60s, which is pretty good. But like, if they have to win just by hitting us with weapons, like, they're not going to be able to do that. They essentially win by, you know, using the magic of the priests and, you know, terror routing us. If they have to fight us toe to toe, they just can't do it. So no doubt Lancel goes down this turn. He's bleeding. They don't even really have to hit him. He'll just die. But is that Mudun up there? Is he the last one left? Yeah. Sir Mudun Orc's Bane. Last one standing. And we will not go quietly into this good night. We'll step forward. It'd be cool if we could take one more down with us, but I don't think that's going to happen. If he comes in, we could probably kill him. Maybe this Legionnaire. But a Horrify. Of course, that's going to stop us. Yeah, there's really no good way to get to these priests either. You've got to try flanking them, and it's just... there's just too many. You could try shooting them. Crossbows are probably somewhat effective now that they've changed how crossbows work against the ancient dead. I think they do 30% of their damage instead of 10%. Haven't looked at those numbers in a while, so that could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. So you can actually, with crossbows, you can kill, you know, ancient priests from a distance. But they're generally standing behind someone. Can't believe he's still alive. Still holding out. Wow. That's why I like having shielded bros in this fight. This is what we want them to do in the front lines. We want them to try and hit us 10 times in a row and fail. That's kind of just not how this battle played out. If one running brother with a beat up shield can hold off this long standing next to the Conqueror in a pit of miasma, run away 2 times and still not get hit. Like, that's the type of resilience we need in our successful attempt. This is crazy. He's hanging on to life so hard. I'm just amazed right now. Jesus. How long it took them to get them. And there we go, guys. Well, we tried. Yeah, so I'm going to look to make the adjustments that I talked about. Yeah, look at our group. They're like, well, that sucked. And of course you don't get any of your gear back. But I'm going to look to make those adjustments that I talked about. We're going to go back into it next time and hopefully be more successful. But guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. We're near the end of our journey and it's been exciting. And I'm hoping to bring you guys a great victory very, very soon. So without any further ado, y'all, thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is Brett and my channel is Goodtalk Gaming. And I will see you in the next one, y'all. Take care.